doing? My name's Deepak. I'm from Maryland, and I play violin, guitar, piano, bass, drums, lots of stuff. I produce and write a lot of songs, and I lead sing in the band Robot Nature.
My name is Jesse. I am also in Robot Nature. I am the drummer, percussionist, and electronic drummer, sound designer as well. I try to chip in where I can here.
Nice. My name is Michael Scalina. I play bass for these guys. It's Robot Nature. Yeah.
What's up, guys? My name's Rich, and I play keys, and been playing for a while.
Story, actually. I was doing a bunch of solo shows for a minute, and doing looper pedal kind of solo stuff a few years ago, and I was playing some gigs, and this awesome dude named Sidney Alston, who is now our manager, showed up.
Woo!
Woo! And he's here. And he saw the gig, and he saw me, and he's like, yo, let's have a meeting, come over to my place. So I went over to his place, and he's like, yo, this kind of sound needs a band. And I just happened to be managing another band called End of Ever, which is these guys here, who happen to have lost their lead singer. And he said, you know what, they might be a good sound to fit the songs that you already have, and then maybe you guys might hit it off and write some new songs. So we ended up getting together, and it turned out that Richie over here happened to be from Maryland, which is where I'm from. By complete coincidence, he went to high school with my old partner from my first band, which is completely magical. And it's kind of just felt like it was meant to be. And then, you guys can take it from there. They had another band. You want to talk about that?
So we all ended up meeting at my studio. Sydney Alston, our manager, was let's get together. We met at my studio in San Fernando Valley, and we were like, let's give it a shot. And we had a little sit down and a chat, and kind of worked out socially in a social environment. And then we met about a week or two. Yeah, it was fun. About a week.
Cool. That was cool, right?
Yeah,
we went to my studio, had like a little jam out, like a
and
rehearsal
then,
thing.
a week or two later, we had a jam out at his place.
I went to his studio the very next day.
Actually, Richie showed up.
And then the next day after that, and the next day after that.
No, we got down and we
programmed some stuff.
Well, we vibe because we're from Maryland. Again, he went to high school literally with like my old partner in crime from my first band, and that already was like crazy. It was like what are the chances in LA of meeting someone that happens to be from the same town as you, like after and going to the same college as you, and then you meet him later on and he happens to be, it's crazy.
Yeah. Exactly, and then so like we all met one night, got together, and just really put it down, put our foot into it, and then
I felt like the first note was like it was instant. Like when we hit it, like the first note, like in my studio, we all just started playing. And it was like, whoa, this is
great. Yeah.
This is definitely something. Yeah, because the reason it was easy for me is because I already had bands before. And I was used to having a band, and I actually had already I'd been at a point where I'm like, all right, I'm kind of done with the band thing. I've had these bands. There's so many people, so many personalities, like getting everyone rounded up. So I was kind of like thinking, all right, I'll go solo, do a looper pedal thing, or maybe have a DJ, just me and a DJ. Just because like this EDM thing was kind of going crazy. EDM, pop, Avicii, and all these people were doing these performances with a laptop and a singer. I was like, let me do that for a minute. But then in my heart of hearts, like I just love the chemistry of what we can create as live musicians. Like there's something you can do that's definitely, it's dynamic, it's epic. And I kind of like let go of that for a minute. And then when Sid presented a band that was already together, already like in one piece, already known each other for 6 years, I was like, all right, I guess the universe wants an Insta band, and here we go. So I'm like, all right, back to band life. And at the end of the day, that's what I've always wanted. I've always wanted to have a band at the end of the day and be like some Coldplay, Pink Floyd, like legendary, like, be touring stadiums for 40, 50 years like the Rolling Stones. And, the solo thing was only going to be a temporary thing, maybe to get to a place and maybe have a band later. But boom, I guess.
Here it is.
Here the band is.
It's the band.
Robot Nature.
Robot Nature. So, it's kind of cool.
We have a congruent look.
Just add water.
We're all wearing dark clothing. We have crazy hair. I don't know. It's like we didn't plan this. This thing just kind of fell into place. So you can't argue with the universe sometimes.
And I was introduced to basically the band format and playing in a band, and also sort of arranging for a band when I did a production with my high school called Rock and Roll Revival. So that's what kind of influenced me originally, and actually,
which my buddy John
totally
was in.
He was a star of this show too.
Yeah, my partner in crime who came out here, and we had a band called The Bolt. He was the star of Rock and Roll Revival.
Yeah, he was certainly. Yeah, I remember going to see him as well, and before I was in high school. But yeah, no, that's kind of the moment I started to think, wow, I really like performing live. I like being in a band, and kind of where that was the moment for me, I would say.
Yeah.
I guess in high school too. I mean, that's when I had my first band. But I think music was just really important to me from when I would hear my mother play piano. I always liked music, and then I forget. I think it was Fantasia, Disney. I loved watching that. I would watch it. I remember so much
American
of the music.
Idol?
Fantasia? Disney?
Disney
With
Fantasia.
Mickey and the brooms.
Mickey Mouse and all the
Yes.
instruments.
And the broom.
And I played violin, but
keep it
just
light.
Tchaikovsky, bro.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's where it kind of started. I guess it was kind of an early age, but I didn't pick up an instrument till later, and it got somewhat serious. Kind of in high school, it was more just like kind of showing off. It wasn't like super important. I think
What were
when
you
it got
playing?
really important is bass,
Basically.
guitar,
Yeah,
and
guitar.
when I met these guys and I played with the band End of Ever, that's when music kind of got pretty serious.
What do you?
5 years old, saw some amazing bands on MTV. I knew what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. Since then, went from playing drums, little drummer boy in elementary school, to going to jazz band, going to marching band, going to ROTC band, then going to the majors in senior year, taking commercial music and starting my own studio and DJing and playing drums since I was a youngin'. From 5 years old I knew what I wanted to do, and it's been waking me up every morning. So it was about between 9 and 5. I pretty much had figured out what I want to do with the rest of my life. So.
Like 9 to 5 p.m.
No, 5 years old.
Oh, 5 to 9.
Oh, 9 to 5. We just like Benjamin. We got Benjamin Button.
Okay, going backwards.
Dolly Parton. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, between ages 9 and 5.
Yeah, somewhere between 5 and 9.
Now.
Between 5 and 9, I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm calling it. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, Benjamin
And
Button
it's
right
actually been
there.
working out pretty well. It's actually been working out pretty well. It's brought me some amazing things, and it's the reason I wake up every morning.
Yeah. Pretty dope. Yeah, I mean, my parents were musicians. You know, my mom was an amazing singer, classical Indian singer. My dad plays this Indian instrument called the veena, which is an Indian instrument as well. And so I was like I grew up just listening to that, like, you know, from the womb on. And then right around age 4, I was presented with the violin and lessons and things like that. Age 6 is really when I started going hardcore with it. But I grew up on Michael Jackson, grew up on, you know, just listening to Michael Jackson, watching him copying, like I was a little kid just doing the moonwalk and copying his songs, singing and trying to mimic Michael Jackson and being just like him and doing his dance moves, all that kind of stuff. And then middle school, I got obsessed with the Beach Boys and all their harmonies and started recording myself, layering myself on top of myself, doing a cappella. And my name's Deepak, so it became Deep Acapella, like Deep Acapella. So I started playing around with just like, you know, all that kind of stuff, harmonies and vocal stuff like that. And then high school was all about orchestra, but then I rebelled. I was really rebellious. I didn't want to play what other people wrote. I wanted to do my own thing. I was singing the orchestra, and there's all this music like Mozart and this and that, and I would always just freestyle and do my own thing. Like, there's this part I'd read it off the sheet, but I was like, I don't want to make up my own thing. I get kicked out of orchestra for making up my own stuff and not playing what was written, and that just turned me into more of like a singer-songwriter, soloist kind of vibe, improvisation. And by the time I got to college, it turned into like a cappella, having bands, all that stuff. You know, I went to school for pre-med and pre-law, but the entire time I was studying neurobiology, physiology, criminology, criminal justice, I was obsessed with music and performing, and I was like, I couldn't wait till the weekends to tour and practice with my a cappella group and my band and stuff like that. So that's kind of how it all went down. I ended up coming to California with my instruments, and just here we are now. We got this band life going on.
Woo!
So I was saying, like, with that, actually, it's a good piggyback. So Michael Jackson was one, but then Radiohead's like my other main. So just to summarize that, like, I would consider those my two main influences. I mean, I'm obsessed with all kinds of music, from classical music to jazz to every band you can name it, to pop music, Ed Sheeran, you name it. But if I had to pick the two immediate ones that really changed my life in terms of, like, wanting to do this thing, I'd say Radiohead and Michael Jackson. If I could combine those two energetically, I feel like those are, like, my spirit animals as a singer and as a performer. So that's me right there.
I am going back this way. I unfortunately, at this moment, I cannot answer that question. There is so many influences that do so many different things for me and push me in so many directions as a player, as a musician, and as an influencer to this band.
What about early on?
Early on, for sure.
Growing up.
Metallica, Pantera,
Growing
07, Radiohead, Coldplay,
Yeah, Coldplay.
Sia. The list goes on and on. But right now, there's just so many. It's a really good time for music right now, and it's really hard for me to answer that question. So I'm going to digress right now.
Yeah, it's hard to pick one. Like
Growing up, though.
Just growing up, it was mostly the Beatles and Zeppelin, for sure.
Yeah, I would say growing up, I was more on the orchestral side because I've taken piano lessons. So I would say John Williams was a big influence on me. And then also, later down the road, Pink Floyd, bands like even Guns N' Roses, and, man, what are some other really big influences? And then actually more currently, like One Republic, Imagine Dragons, 21 Pilots.
Not Muse. Is Muse in there?
Muse. I love Muse.
Muse is big for us.
Muse, yeah.
Muse and
Very
21
amusing.
Pilots is really big for this
Definitely.
band.
I would say
restart,
energetic.
Star Wars meets Lord of the Rings
Well,
a little bit.
restart your comments so they can punch in if they have to.
I liked it.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay,
How about Star Wars meets Lord of the Rings?
I'm gonna jump in.
I like it.
I'm gonna say Mad Max meets Star Wars.
Oh, snap.
Oh.
You still got Star Wars. That's cool, though. I'm happy with that. We don't need to have Lord of the Rings in there. Star Wars is
maybe
really where it's
some
at.
of those.
I like Mad Max.
I was thinking, like, yeah, I think high energy, emotional is a good word as
You're getting
well.
all smart now.
It was a sophisticated question.
It's actually a good answer. You're killing it.
Trying to think of more. Mikey, you got one?
I said energetic earlier, but
Okay, yeah.
Energetic's
You were
good.
thinking the same.
No, it's inspirational. It's energetic. It makes you want to dance. It makes you want to move. It also makes you think and reflect. It's the kind of music that, you know, huh?
No musical terms.
Reflect and think.
Musical.
Aggressive and emotional.
Huh?
Dance. Music, dance.
Dance?
Aggressive and
How's that
emotional.
musical? You can dance.
It's got to be
you
musical.
can dance with that.
Dance
music.
without
You're
any
right,
music
you're right,
whatsoever.
you're right. Dancing is definitely a good idea.
Dancing.
That's a different art.
It's reflective, inspirational, and energetic.
And aggressive and emotional.
Like maybe Richie's playing something on keys, and then Jesse sneaks in a cool little beat, and then maybe Deepak's in the drum. He's like, whatever. Yo, keep playing that. Keep playing that.
Mm.
And he's like, yeah. And he'll start singing something. I'll do a little bass line. Starts kind of like that sometimes, but it's different. Sometimes we'll have a song that's already written. You know, like Deepak has something that he's like, hey, you guys, listen to this.
Yeah.
And we'll give it a little listen. He's like, all right, let's. And then we'll kind of transform it a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's never the same, really. At the end of the day, it's always different because, you know, everyone's got a different thing they're offering in the band, right? We got keyboards, we got bass, we got drums. So sometimes it could be beat based, it could be melody based, it could be keyboard line based, you know, all that kind of stuff. So each song's going to be different.
Yeah.
Um,
to chime in, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
To
please.
chime in on what he's, it's many songs have derived from different methods and different writing methods, and most of them come organically. They have not come for one specific protocol of writing. We don't follow one specific protocol. It's just different ideas derived from different places.
It's important to know lyrically, Deepak does, step in mostly there, if not in almost all cases.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm a singer, so of course, like a lot of times, like the melodies, the top line melodies of the vocals and the lyrics. I have a co-writing partner that I work with named Kevin that I do pretty much most of my lyrics with for many years. And so I'll basically, a lot of times, even if we write the whole music together as a band, I'll end up going off with my partner and coming up with the lyrics, and I'll usually come up with the entire vocal melody myself. But then, band-wise, we'll come up with, grooves and beats and chord progressions as a group, together.
And Richie usually co-writes, with himself on the piano parts, and I found myself co-writing with myself a lot, too, on the drum parts as I'm the drummer. It's kind of weird how it all falls into line at the end of the day. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he's actually been solo. He's actually consulted with no one and been probably more amazing than the rest of us the entire time.
Well, these guys all co-write with themselves is amazing. I don't have that ability to co-write with myself. I'm not good enough, so I have to co-write with someone
I'm not
else.
even really sure what that means to
Yeah.
co-write with oneself.
No, I need someone else as a crutch, to co-write with. Jesse, on the other hand, can co-write with himself.
Yeah, I've been killing it
boss.
with myself lately.
With himself.
But you know what? In all seriousness, speaking of co-writing, we do actually co-write, and we do actually collaborate with other musicians, producers outside of the band as well.
Yes.
That's part of the creative process.
Yes. And we're open too. Like, we're open to other people contributing songs to the band or co-writing with other people too. Because at the end of the day, it's all about
Absolutely.
just having dope songs that we feel like sound like something we want to play and have fun playing. The main thing is about having fun. And so if someone else brings a song and say, hey, you guys want to play this song? Hey, we'll play someone else's song too if it's the right thing. Or fight. Yeah, when it's all okay. We're all a bunch of people with personalities. We're all super passionate, so we get into it sometimes. But it's all because we all are passionate about, and it's something that'll ever break us up because we're fighting for the cause of making this thing the best it can be. And sometimes we clash, and that's just like the police or anybody else. It's just for making the product better. We'll fight about scheduling, fight about songs, stuff like that. But it's all love. We know that it's not. It's for a good cause.
And for anybody else listening, for the blog fans and for anybody who's listening to Musical Heartbeat, or anybody who's just listening to learn and grow with an up and coming band that is going to enter their struggles with dealing with 4 other personalities. You got to understand, you spend a lot of time with each other. I mean, you got countless hundreds and hundreds of hours clocked in with one another. And it's like a marriage, you lock in yourself with certain people, and you're going to spend hundreds of hours with these people. There's going to be some conflicts, personalities, difference in records and of opinions, food tastes. You got to eat together. You got to hang out together. You got to write together. You got to sleep together sometimes. You got to, not like that. You got to sleep together sometimes. You got to.
Maybe not, but it's
in the same room, in the same tour bus, in the same hotels, you go on the road, in the same bands, in the same venues, and you got to.
With sleeping bags, those are separation.
Yeah, so you got there's gonna be sometimes some tension. There's gonna be conflicts, and there's gonna be the things. And the most important part, the biggest piece of advice I can say, just from what we've learned, is you just gotta understand that today's the day and today's the conflict, but keep an eye on the big picture and understand that tomorrow's another day. And there's going to be a conflict, but nothing's greater than the band itself. This band, your band at home, the band you're in or the project you're in, whether you're just producing with an artist or a singer, or whether you're at home with your own band that you're developing right now, or even in a successful band and watching down on us coming up. That band is greater than yourself as one single person. And you got to understand that one single fight that you're having, that one single day, is all about you, and it's a single fight you're having. That band, this band, Robot Nature, is bigger than myself, bigger than Deepak, bigger than any one of these bands. And whatever band you're in, or whatever music production situation you're in at home, goes bigger than that one individual, and you got to make sure you have big enough and adult enough and smart enough to get over it.
Got a call first thing in the morning. I wasn't even home that night. And I got a call that basically my house was on fire. And so I just started driving towards the house. And that house was not just the house. We're talking... That's where the band rehearses. That's where we produce all of our records. Everything's been done there at that place. So I didn't know what I was going into, for all I know, I've lost everything. Violins, I wasn't there, so I wasn't prepared for the evacuation notices. A lot of people had notices about the evacuation, this and that. I wasn't around, so, I'm driving towards the house, had no idea, and then ended up on the KTLA News, on live, because they just kind of saw me on the PCH, so... Anyway, I finally got back to my house, and sadly, there's actually really good news and really bad news. The bad news is that my house burned down, lost all my furniture, beds, everything, and also one of my cats didn't survive the fire. The good news is our entire studio somehow managed to survive. The roof burned off, and we're not able to use the place anymore, and the space is done, but the instruments, the gear, the hard drives, all that kind of stuff survived. So it's kind of a miracle. It's like maybe the universe is saying, we want this music to go on. And this has been a kind of a common story in Malibu. There's a couple other people in Malibu that lost their houses, including Richard Gibbs and Rick Rubin, people like that are very well-known, very established people that lost their houses, but their studios did not burn. And we kind of had a similar situation where, the gear survived and everything. And at this point, you know, we're moving on. We found a new place and we're getting ourselves settled. But a lot of amazing things have happened out of it. We've got a bowling alley that's donated their space. We can have rehearsals. We've got a studio named Treehouse with MusicalHeARTBeat's with Justin and Dusty that have offered their studio to us to record our next single for Robot Nature. A lot of amazing communities come together. So it's kind of been a very powerful experience for us as a band to realize the generosity of musicians and the open hearts of artistry that we've been supported by, you know. And so, you know, in the end of the day, you know, it's like a tragedy that's turned into an amazing alchemy of positivity and inspiration and new inspiration, songwriting, and, you know, people coming together and helping each other. And it's actually, in a way, it's interesting that the fire might have actually boosted our momentum in a way that we couldn't have planned before, because more people got to hear about the band, ironically, out of the fire and support us. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't have planned that. You could,
That's
you
pretty
know.
cool.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
when we actually rehearsed at Corbin Bowl, thanks to Corbin, by the way, thanks Corbin again
Yeah,
for letting
bowling
us
alley.
rehearse. We had people show up that we
Yeah.
never met before, and show up with bags of things to help with the Woolsey Fire when we
Yeah.
did a little benefit and everything as well. So it was pretty amazing what came out of it in that way, where people were just wanting to help and come together that we never even met before.
Yeah, people are donating. People have been so generous. It's just been very heartwarming to feel a generosity. People offering clothing and money, and you know, we did a GoFundMe that was put on by our manager Sydney, and that helped us find a new place for the band to have our rehearsals. You know, a house for me at least to live in, and then a place for us to rehearse. And then there's again food and clothing. So much generosity has come out of this. So it's just an amazing thing sometimes to just remember the gratitude and how powerful it is in certain situations. And you know, we're grateful and excited to be able to take that energy that we've been given and give it back 100 times full or 1,000
And again,
times full
thank you
to the
guys.
world.
Thank you guys to all of our fans, to all of our supporters, to everyone who's been involved in the Woolsey Fire, everyone who's been involved with our entire movement. Thank you guys to everything and for everything. We appreciate you. You guys have not been forgotten.
Gratitude.
You guys will always get remembered. You guys will always be a part of what we're doing. And if there's anything we can do back for you, feel free to mail us, email us, feel free to send anything to us, hit us on social media, let us know what you guys need. If there's somebody who's going through something, we're willing to give back, because we're always usually in a really good situation. It just, you know, everyone gets hit in different ways at different times. So, you know, thank you guys for everything. Just want to
That's
tell you
what's
guys
up.
that for sure.
Oh yeah, all my life. So the song's coming out this coming Monday. Is that something we gotta say? We do that again. The song's coming out this coming Monday, All My Life, on 21st of January 2019 on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Music, iTunes, and everything else. And it'll be available for streaming and download. And then we're going to have a music video as well. And then we're going to have a release party at the Sayers Club on February 7th, which is going to be exciting. That place is awesome. Like, Prince used to play there all the time. Like, do secret shows there. It's, like, super dope. We're really honored to play there. And the song itself is sort of a celebration of the moment of life itself. Like, it's an idea of how life has all these different colors and pictures, but at the end of the day, one of the lyrics is, it's always been like this, which is like, it's always, no matter what, you're still you in all these experiences. You can go through the ups and downs, you can go through celebration, relationships and all that. At the end of the day, it's always been like this, where you've always been you, and it's all my life, you know? So there's nothing that can change. There's permanence and impermanence. So the impermanence is yourself. And so that's kind of the idea on a sort of metaphysical way, like a philosophical way, that no matter what's going on, you're still you. So that's kind of the main theme. It's a celebration of life in its most epic form. That's kind of the idea there.
And another big factor is that, or as a band, we this was one of those songs where kind of culminated with Deepak originally, and
Right.
then he brought it to us, and then we kind of made it our own.
Yeah.
And when we made it our own, we started to, what he showed us originally, we started to kind of resection, rearrange a little bit, and we kind of built a little bit more of a, I would say, current vibe and whatnot. And
Yeah.
it kind of became this little bit of a reggae style you'll hear, and then also you'll hear like kind of a little EDM sample
pop
style,
rock, yeah.
pop rock, 21 Pilots related.
Little dubstep, little dub.
Little bit of everything.
Dub,
Yeah, yeah.
Jamaican dub
But,
in
you
it.
know,
And that's where all the influences came in from.
Right, so everybody sort of pulled together and took a song that was already there as a song. It's got multiple versions, and we made it like a proper Robot Nature song by everyone adding their flavor to it, and it's pretty...
Flavor.
Well, I mean, right off the bat, the fact that it's a live band already distinguishes it from the EDM sound. Like, most of that EDM sound is like pre-programmed stuff. It's all quantized, everything's to the beat. Very generic sound and samples and kicks and snares. I mean, this is a live band. It has a lot of feel to it, a lot of energy. Also, we have, like, I'm playing the violin, which is one thing certainly that makes it distinct. But you know, between the beats and all the different things, live elements and key, you know, it's a much more colorful and dynamic array of sound.
We have live drums in there.
Yeah.
And
drums.
we're playing to, you know, electronics, if I will, in general. And then I'm also playing electronic drums along with my live drums. And my live drums are also dialed in and tuned into the electronic drum side. So they kind of coincide with each other, so we have this new articulated kind of dialed in sound. And then we have our bass player, Mikey, going in through these insane new pedals, like literally lucky to get them on the market kind of stuff through companies I can't disclose at the moment. Like that are manipulating his bass sounds, and then vice versa with Richie. He's playing 3 plus, I don't know, I mean, how he's got
a whole
multi-layer laptops
keyboard.
and 2 keyboards, and he's got pedals and things going on.
The Mad Scientist station over there. He's got a laptop,
keyboard. He's got beakers and shit going on stage.
We also program or pre-program sounds.
Test tubes and
Whole
shit.
deal.
We don't know what he's doing, it just sounds good.
We don't know what he does. He just pours things in the test tubes and all these amazing sounds come out. I'm just up there singing like, wow, look at all these test tubes.
He's like, I got this new beaker set. I'm like, what is that? He's like, don't trip, let's just get it playing.
Organic chemistry, robot nature, no big deal.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of the vibe.
It's
very different.
We add organic stuff into the beakers, and then we get digital sound out of it.
Chemistry, robot nature.
Yeah, there's enough, like, you know, dudes, you know, sitting on a laptop and pretending like he's playing the thing out there. You know, this is a band, you know, but it's a band that's able to produce an electronic sound that sounds live, and that's very distinct.
Sorry.
Ton coming out this year. I mean, we've got the single coming out on Monday, on January 21st, 2019, All My Life. All My Life's coming out. We've got a ton of new songs that we've already recorded that are ready to be dropped throughout the year. Music videos will be dropping throughout the year. We got definitely going to be touring as much as we can and playing, traveling the world. You know,
we did Burning Man last year. We're hoping there's some small discussions that we might be going back this year, which is nice.
We're planning to get Burning Man.
I believe we might be doing Burning Man this year.
No, we are doing Burning Man.
No, we're doing Burning Man this year. That's planned.
For sure, regardless. But if anybody listening has a better option or an amazing option or would like us to coincide with their camp as well, let us know.
I mean, there are a couple people I have in mind that I think would work really well with the band. One of them is Ryan Tedder from One Republic, but, you know, I would love that. Rick Rubin, another one I would love to actually collaborate with, personally.
Yeah, I mean, some major producers out there we'd love to collaborate with, like, you know, Rick Rubin's on the list, and a million more, you know, Alex the Kid, stuff like that, Imagine Dragons. We could be opening and touring for bands.
Flume 07, what's up?
Alt J,
Alt J,
that's what's up. You know,
Flume 07, Alt J, let's do something.
You know, we could get on
Chris
tour.
Martin.
Yeah, Chris Martin, Coldplay. You know, we have got some relationships that are pretty close to him, and it'd be cool to, like, you know, be touring and opening and playing with Coldplay and bands like Imagine Dragons and Muse would be epic.
Epic.
You know, what else? What do you got, Mike? Anything out there, like wish list or producers?
Andrew Whooper would be sick.
We already got Andrew Whooper, which is epic. What an honor! Like, Andrew Whooper is the protege of Dave Pensato, and I got to actually hang out with Dave Pensato for New Year's Eve this year because of Andrew. I got taken to this amazing gathering and got to talk to him, and I know he's listening to Robot Nature now. Andrew's been taking our stuff to him, by the way, and so he's a legendary mixer. And so Andrew's 3-time Grammy nominee. He's
We
mixing.
love Dave too.
He's mixing. He's co-producing and mixing the band with us, and taking in the studio with MusicalHeARTBeat's and all those guys. So, you know, some of the wish list is already happening as we speak, because, you know, I'm really into pop, and Andrew Whooper did, you know, Justin Bieber. He mixed most of that with Purpose record, Katy Perry, stuff like that. And,
Free National.
oh yeah, Rihanna. Yeah, he worked with Rihanna. He worked with a bunch of, you know, Andrew Whooper's is epic. You know, you should look him up. So that on the wish list of things, some things are already happening, and, you know, we're blessed with that, and there's more to come. So that's what's up. I walk around to either Billie Jean or by Michael Jackson or Karma Police by Radiohead, because those are both just epic songs that kind of like capture a lot of my energy.
I've always loved Money by Pink Floyd.
Ooh.
I just love that. That's got a stroll to it. It's a different timing too.
Yeah, it's in 5.
So,
I don't have one right now. That's a hard
Call It
question.
Cthulhu by Metallica.
Oh, that's a song right there.
ooh, that is one there.
Call It Cthulhu. I got every note of that memorized for sure. That's a dope song. That's on Ride the Lightning right there. What are you, Mike? What could be a...
Nah, I don't have one right now.
No theme song for
It's
life?
changing. No.
You're walking to some song in life.
You gotta walk to some kind of
Yeah,
beat.
you're walking to something. He's walking.
Might be Take the Big One by Robot Nature. Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I think it
That
is.
would make sense.
I think it's taking
Yeah, I think his song...
That's a Mikey Strong.
Yeah.
You know, if people can walk away feeling inspired to do whatever it is that they want to do with their lives, like there's 7 billion more people on this planet that are all completely different, but there's one thing everyone has, which is the passion for something. And if this music could inspire them to do whatever it is they want to do, that would be epic. If they want to be an accountant, if you want to be a basketball player, if you want to be a musician, hopefully this music can just put you in a place where you feel open and ready to express yourself and attack your goals and your dreams and just step it up and just drop your fears and actually just be unblocked to be able to achieve what it is you want to do out there in this world.
And also beyond inspire, relate. Just, you can relate to what's being said. Also, just the energy that we, sort of transmit.
Yeah. Inspiration and happiness, I would say. I agree.
Happiness, yeah.
Yeah, but on top of happiness, I mean, I'm talking about just pure authenticity, even sadness, even anger, all of it. I'm talking about every color of the rainbow, being open to express and not suppress what it is that you are experiencing in that moment. Because at the end of the day, if you end up hiding it, it's going to get stored in your body somewhere. And if you're not getting it out, it's going to turn into stuff later that turns into sickness and cancer. All these kind of things come from people not getting it out. So if you can be fully free and open to express whatever it is, every color of the rainbow, then you have full freedom, you have full self-expression, you're healing, you're able to actually be the powerful being that you're meant to be, which is an actual emitter of pure energy. And that's what we are. We're all energy. We're not real. We're all vibration. And music's vibration. And that's why we get blessed to be able to be musicians, because we're literally doing the one thing that we all are already, which is vibration, and we're actually doing that as a living, which is vibrating. So if we can help vibrate other people into being whatever it is they want to be in this life and get it out there, that would be an epic goal for robot nature, which is the 2 words, the duality between the robot and the nature. That's what we want.
We're just a big vibrator.
So you guys just want to be really big, good vibrators, right?
Yes.
The world?
The world. Music means the world to me.
Like, just
Yeah.
anything
Tell
and
us.
everything? It's like, shit.
Music is a connection for me between people, emotion, culture, and experience. And it brings it all together in under one roof. And it's subjective, but it is the world to me. And like I said earlier, to me personally, it's the reason I wake up in the morning. Deepak.
Yeah, music to me is a universal language. I mean, there's so many countries and languages on this earth, but there's one thing that I feel like join us all together is music. I mean, like, you may not be able to understand the words even, but you can still smile when you feel the sound, you hear the melody, you feel the beat. I mean, people can hear the same song by all the artists that we're all influenced by earlier. We talked about Michael Jackson, One Republic, Metallica, you name it, but music you know, all these different people could listen to it and still be universally connected by this universal language of music, which again is vibration, like we talked about earlier. So it's pretty freaking amazing to be able to be on the team of people that present music to people.
Yep.
You know, that's awesome.
And music, for me, and I think for many, many others, it's a form of therapy. It's very therapeutic. It allows you to meditate. It allows you to just escape some things that, you know, if you feel like you need to escape. And then also, I don't know, for me, it's always been by my side to just kind of put away any sort of, you know, sad, happy, whatever emotion, and then just breathe it. And then, I don't know. It's very magical.
It's magical.
Yeah. And therapeutic.
I agree.
It's healing, like you said. You know, music is healing. Music is therapy. Music is vibration. It's a universal language.